Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at the chat room. It's giant. So now I'm going to be looking up a lot, which makes my turkey neck a lot less because I look up. Oh, lights. My dog always unplugs my light in here. I don't know. I always look weird. At least I do. I think I look weird. This is probably what I look like all the time. Okay, so data types. Now, what is a data type? What do you know about, what do you think a data type is? I've talked about it before. Ah, damn it. So what's a data type? I have a damn remote control for the damn TV. Anybody? Data type, data type, data type. I would have typed, it's a type of data. Because oddly enough, that's the right answer, actually. Patrick, you're very close. So basically, we have three kinds of data types. We have integers, floats, and strings. Those are our data types. And so each one of those is defined within Python. And Python has those built in. Now, Patrick may remember this, but also in Visual Basic. Ooh, Angelina, somebody just walked. Ooh, somebody's walking in your digital background. So that's awesome. You have ghosts. It's very strange looking, but it's cool. So in Python, yeah, they're jumping in the ocean. People are committing suicide in their background. They're jumping off the cliff. In Python, we have what we call dynamic typing. So basically what that means is that Python will set the data type depending on the value that's currently held in the variable. So that means that if it's a float data type, Python will automatically see it as a float. And by the way, for different data types, there are different rules. So for instance, you cannot do calculations with a string data type. I have to stop shaking because it shakes my computer. It makes this happen. It's like an earthquake. This needs to come up here, but then I can't see the screen. So, because in Python it's dynamic, the data type of a particular variable can change depending on what's being currently held in it. So remember, variables are memory spots. Now, in older programs or different programming languages like Visual Basic, and I don't know of Fortran, but because Basic was my first programming language. In Virtual Basic, for instance, we have what we call static typing. And basically that means that you have to declare the variable first and assign a data type to it. And then only those kinds of data types can be used with that variable in that program. And it can only be assigned, it can only be assigned variables that are of that data type. So for instance, you can do addition with integers, which are whole numbers, but you can't do addition with a string variable. Now, in any programming language, basically each data type has a set of values and operators that can be applied to those values, so that can be used with those. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. So that's important to remember, especially when we're doing programs and creating programs, that most of the time, or depending on how we declare or populate our variables, the data type can change. So one of the things I think Patrick had problems with was when he did the value assignment, he used the input statement. He did not do int or float input. He didn't do this. Right here. First, or with the input statements. So this is an important thing to remember. I don't know what it is that you can see. Oh, you can only see the book, right? Because on my screen that I'm sharing, I also have your video images and
we can only see your screen that says like Zoom. We can't see anything that you're doing though.
Oh, you can't see the book?
No.
Oh.
When you share your screen, I think you have an option to choose which screen.
Yeah, no, I do. And I could have sworn I chose the right one.
Matthew.
Book or no?
No.
Oh, for some reason, it's now screen one. Book?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome, thank you. So this is what I was talking about right here. Python, basically what this is doing is it's actually doing a conversion. So it's taking whatever the user is going to input here, right? The user is going to input something after how many credits do you have? And then it's going to convert it to an integer and place it into this variable, whatever number, credits, whatever it's called. So that's very important. It's the, we're forcing it to become a certain kind of data type, instead of letting Python try to figure it out. And like I said, a lot of time with input, it will do strings. It will just create a string variable. When let's say that this said number of credits equals 5 times 7, then it would be an integer data type, because it's going to populate it with a result of a multiplication with a product. But here with input, it's important to realize that, or to remember, I should say, that you should do this, because it will keep your data types well, it'll make your data types what you expect them to be. How's that? Okay, so age in seconds. Yeah, we'll look at that at some point. This is very complicated. Age in seconds. So let's get down here. Chapter 3, control structures. Okay, so I'm going to go off text a little bit here, and I'm going to talk about well, let's see. It shows up here in chapter 3 somewhere. If statements. It's here somewhere. Selection control, the if statement. There we go. It's in 3.3. Really? I like starting off with if statements. Okay. What's an if statement? So let me do this. Whiteboard. That is not an if statement. There we go. Okay. Now I need my pen, and I'm ready. When we create programs, a lot of times what we want to do is we want to run a group, we want to run a group of code, or we want to run a different set of code. So we have it kind of either or. So usually what we do is, and by the way, most programs use this kind of logic to navigate. So for instance, let's think about a program that would let us pick what to wear. Oh, I know. So let's talk about decisions. A computer or a program has to be able to make decisions. Now, we make decisions all the time as human beings. So one of the things that we do is we figure out what it is that we're going to put on, what we're going to wear. And we make that decision every day. Hopefully. I don't see anybody running around naked, so I think we're good. Everybody has at some point today figured out what it is that they're going to wear. And I don't know, some of you that don't share your video, God only knows what you're wearing. But how do we make that decision? What do we base the decision on? See, Peter has clothes on. PJs. It's a little late for PJs. So what do we base that decision on? The blood of my enemies. It's 9:20. What decision? What do we base the decision on? What are we going to wear? What are some of the things that we base that? The temperature outside. Temp. The temperature is, well, wait a second. Weather. What do we? Well, the temperature is part of the weather, right? What others think? What others think? Oscar's like, "Oh, I'm a slave to others. What should I wear? What you feel like? The occasion." There we go.
I think the season, but it really doesn't count here from California because it's always practically summer. I meant like, you know, like when it's gonna, like the same thing with temperature. If it's gonna be hot, obviously you're not gonna wear your long sleeves unless you know you're crazy, which I used to do.
Yeah, no. So if you're wearing long sleeves, Valerie thinks you're crazy. I'm kidding. So, yeah, season is kind of weather related, right? So the temperature, we kind of have that. The temperature, the season, I don't know. I don't, because I'm a boy. I don't dress in fall colors because it's the fall. I don't, what do I have on? I
The
have
time
on,
of day, maybe?
I'm sorry, time of day?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, but let's say that we're getting up in the morning and we're getting dressed and we're gonna wear something, or we're going somewhere, right? So where we're going dictates what it is. What clothes are clean? That's a good one. Clean or dirty? Desert survival. Again, if things match, so do they match?
Our mood.
I don't know. Does that dictate what it is that you wear? I'm trying to think of moods.
Yeah.
I feel like a serial killer today, so I'm gonna dress
Yeah.
like a serial killer. No,
If I could input,
I feel depressed, so I'm gonna wear all black. Is that what you're? I'm trying
Professor.
to. I'm not sure. I don't think my mood dictates what it is I'm gonna wear. Well, I don't know. Who said mood?
Professor.
Explain, please, what you mean by mood. Because I might agree with you, but I'm trying to
Like
agree.
today I'm feeling green, or like today I'm feeling black, or I don't know, something like that. You know?
Okay. Okay. So I feel envious today because I'm wearing green, I guess. The occasion. Where we're going? Yeah. So if you're going to a funeral, you're probably not going to wear your PJs, right? If you're going to a wedding, you're probably not going to wear shorts and a Slayer t-shirt. So where we're going dictates what it is that we wear. Temperature dictates what it is we're going to wear. Comfort dictates, if you have a dress code, yes, you're right. Temperature is a big dictator, right? We typically aren't going to wear, long underwear and thick socks and boots and long pants and t-shirt and a shirt and a sweater and an overcoat and a hat and a scarf when it's 110 outside. So temperature does dictate what it is that we're going to wear. What's clean dictates what it is that we're going to wear. And by the way, where we're going dictates all kinds of stuff, right? If you're going to work, you might have a dress code. If you're going to school, I guess where we're going used to be easier to imagine since we don't really go anywhere anymore. We all just sit at home. But right, you go to work, you dress a certain way depending on what your job is. Do the clothes match? I'm trying to keep us with our own preferences, Peter and Valerie, our own decisions. I know that if we're going somewhere important, my wife says you need to wear a suit and tie, and so she gives me guidelines. Or you need to wear this so that I don't come out inappropriate. But for the most part, our own decision. So let's focus on one of these. Let's just focus on the temperature. Okay. So my point here is that we make decisions all the time, and we base those decisions on what we call conditions. Okay, so and something as simple as figuring out what it is I'm going to put on and wear today is based on a lot of decisions. what goes together, right? What matches? What's the temperature outside? What is clean? What's dirty? At least when I was single and lived alone, it was like there were like a big pile of clothes on. Is that clean? Is that not clean? Does it still smell okay? Where am I going? What's the temperature? And we do that in our heads, not really consciously. We might look outside, right? And go, oh crap, it's going to be hot today. We may take our phone and click the weather thing and see what the temperature is going to be today. And then we take into consideration, where am I going? Am I going to a funeral? Again, we typically don't do this consciously. We just kind of go, oh yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to work. And then we dress a certain way to do that. So my point here is that we're taking multiple conditions, evaluating them all in our brains, some of them consciously, some of them kind of unconsciously, and then we're spitting out a condition. The problem is that a computer program can't do that. A computer, in order to do a condition or to evaluate a condition, we have to figure out each condition individually and then write code to evaluate each condition. So creating a program that would let us, or that would tell us what to wear, and using all of the conditions that we just kind of came up with, which are kind of the normal ones, would be very complicated. So I just want to look at one scenario, and that is creating a program that will spit out an answer on what it is that I should wear based on just temperature, because I need to narrow it down. So I'm going to work backwards. So the first thing that we need to figure out is what my answers are going to be. So, and I want to narrow it to 3. So I'm going to only have 3 choices. I'm going to have, it's hot outside. So I'm going to evaluate the temperature into 3 ranges: hot, normal, cold. And the computer is going to spit out what it is that I should wear. So if it's hot, I should wear shorts, and it's my forearm that does that. Shorts and t-shirt. Okay, so that's my first output. My second one is going to be for normal weather. So it's not too hot, it's not too cold. I don't know what it is that we should wear if it's not too hot and not too cold. What should we wear if it's not too hot and not too cold? We should wear jeans and shirt. Again, by the way, what's one of the most important considerations that we don't even think about when we decide what it is that we're going to wear? It's super important and nobody ever thinks about it.
Our hair.
No. I'm sorry. That just struck me as super funny. No. If we have clothes is very, very close. Yeah, then I fixed my hair because now you made me all subconscious. So if we have clothes, I'm going to assume we do have clothes. Otherwise, we don't make this decision. We just run around naked. Ah, you can wear dirty clothes. It's what clothes we have. Our choice is limited by the clothes that we own, right? I just can't say, you know what, today I'm going to wear an Armani suit because I don't own an Armani suit. Now, I could go out and buy one, I guess. I wouldn't. I never wear suits anymore. I used to have a job where I had to wear a suit and tie every day. And since I don't have that job anymore, I have like, 20 suits in the closet and dress shirts and like 100 ties. And I hardly ever wear them. Because most everybody's already died or gotten married. So yeah, but I hardly ever wear them. So anyway, yeah, what clothes we actually own. And so if it's cold, what are we going to wear? And by the way, that says jeans and shirt. If it's cold, I'm going to wear a sweater. Pants, a sweater. And I don't know, gloves. Now, obviously, this is simplistic, right? And I'm just trying to, narrow it down so that my answers aren't too complicated. And this is fairly simplistic. Obviously, what we're going to wear is more creative than this. But so how do we get to this? I said we're going to do this if it's hot, this if it's kind of the normal range of temperature, and this if it's cold, right? So there's my 3 pieces of output. So how am I going to get there? I'm going to have to make evaluate what the temperature is outside. So I'm going to have to use a program and use code to evaluate conditions. So we're going to start running the code and we're going to evaluate whether, and right, what am I evaluating? I'm going to evaluate the temperature outside. So what is the temperature? So I have to know that. So there's a piece of user input for the program. What's the temperature either now or what is it going to be, right? And the user is going to input that. So we're going to have temp. That's going to be kind of our variable. And now we have to make, as a programmer, we have to make some decisions. So what do we think is hot, right? What is hot? What temperature is hot? And what temperature isn't hot? 80 degrees. So if it's 83, is that, or if it's 81, is that shorts and t-shirt weather? 75 Fahrenheit. We live in the US. Degrees Celsius, we're all melting, okay? Because my internet connection's unstable. Is it? Maybe I should open this door. So what's hot? What's definitely hot? 80? 85? 85? I think 85 and above is kind of hot and is definitely shorts and t-shirt weather, right? So let's go with that. If the temperature is greater than 85, then what do I want to do? Well, I want to display that. right? So if here is my evaluation, here is my condition that I have to evaluate. So I have a variable that is I should have done input for, right? So that has an input and it's been assigned a value. And this can evaluate as what? It can evaluate as being true, or it can evaluate as being, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have it. And by the way, if this is not how you write this, I'm just writing this the way that it fits on my whiteboard. Or it can evaluate as being false. So if the temp, let's say that I look at it's in the morning, it's now, and I'm getting ready for the day, and I pick up my phone and I press the weather icon, and it says today it's going to be 105. I see that it's going to be 105 starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock, and it's going to be 90 around there for the next couple of, so that's hot, right? So I type in 105, boom, that's greater than 85. My program should spit out wear shorts and a t-shirt. It's hot. Wear hot weather clothes. If it's false, so let's say that I input a different temperature, what do I need to do? Or what does the program need to do? So if it evaluates as being false,
We have to set another condition to choose between jeans and a t-shirt or sweater and gloves.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So I need to EW. I don't know what EW means. I just saw the chat. So we have to set up a different condition, right? So if this is not greater than 85, then I need to, oh, gotcha. We need to then set up a new condition. So I do temp. And which one should I do here? Right, I've already figured out the condition for shorts and a t-shirt. So which one should I do now? I have 2 left, right? So which condition should I do? Patrick says cold. Valerie says cold. So let's do cold, and we'll figure out why we do cold in a second. So what's cold? I need a temperature. What's definitely cold? Less than what? Less than 50? Are you from Southern California, Valerie? Below 70.
Yes, I am.
See,
I just
thought
wish
so.
we had these temperatures.
Yeah, no, because if it's 50 degrees here, people aren't leaving the house, okay? It's freezing to us. Yeah, we get a little bit iffy when it goes below 70 in Southern California. And I know, by the way, if it's 60 degrees in Minnesota, people are wearing shorts and a t-shirt because it's like hot to them. So, oh, I guess where we live too. By the way, 70 or 75 degrees is hot to a lot of the world. And so they go like to the river or to the beach when it's like 75, and it's like, oh, you're crazy. Yeah, see, Logan is like all 40 degrees. No, now you're exaggerating. 40 degrees is cold in Minnesota, but when it gets up to 60 degrees, you guys are like, oh yeah, it's awesome. 40 is still really cold. Okay, so we're gonna say, let's say 65. I think we can agree on 65. So if the temperature is less than 65, we're going to display, if it's true, that. So that's what happens if it's true. And if this is false, actually, I know I'm doing this all wrong, but if it's true, oops, we should display sweater and gloves. And if it's false, what should we do? So if this evaluates as being false, what should I do? Tatiana said I should display jeans and shirt. Do we agree? Patrick is nodding. Ivan gave a very unenthusiastic thumbs up. He's like, oh. So yes, you guys are correct. We should just display this. Why? Well, because if this is false, I know that the temperature is 85 degrees or less, right? So if this evaluates as false, I know that the temperature cannot be 85 or higher. It has to be less than 85. It has to be 85 or less. I'm sorry. And so when I'm here, I've already done the evaluation that eliminates this bit. Then if I do the evaluation for, is the temperature less than 65? If that evaluates as false, I'm eliminating this. So what is the temperature? The temperature has to be in between the two that I've eliminated. I eliminated the high range, right? Higher than that. I've eliminated the low range, whatever's lower than that. And so the temperature must be in between, right? It can't be greater than 85 all the way to infinity, right? And it can't be less than 65 all the way to infinity, because those two number sets I have eliminated. They're gone. So what I'm left over with is the in-between temperature, which is why I structured this the way I did. That's why I did this range, then this range, because if both of those evaluate as being false, I automatically get a range that's in between, and I don't have to write a condition, right? So let's say that I did it differently. Let's just say that I did temp greater than 85, and this is false. And then I wanted to do the middle range. So I would have to write a condition that's more complicated, right? It has to be if temp is greater than, what did we say? 70, 65, 65, and by the way, I would keep going on this line, less than right? So now my second condition that I have to evaluate is more complicated. So that's why I didn't do the middle range, is because this is easier. This is harder. And then if this evaluates as false, right, I still end up with not having to do the condition for the third one, because the temperature range is going to be below 65 or 65 and below. So typically, when we have conditional statements, we tend to have one less condition than we have outcomes. So with the temperature program, I had 3 potential outcomes, but I had to evaluate 2 conditions. And the way we write that using a program is we use what we call if, else, or else if statements, and we abbreviate that in Python by doing elif. So if I wanted to write this, what time is it? Oh, I have a couple of minutes, so I'm pretty good. I'm almost on time. So if I say, let's just say temperature, right? Because I do have to do input. I have to do a value assignment here. But let's just say that my temperature was, let's just say that it's going to be 40, 50, 60, 60. How about 60? We'll do 60. Temperature. So if, sorry, it's a bad habit of mine. I'm sorry. My Visual Basic gets in the way of everything. It's lowercase. If it's not in Visual Basic, if temp is less than or equal to, greater than, I'm sorry, greater than or equal to, what did we say, 785? 85. So if it's greater than or equal to this, what am I going to do? I'm going to print, and by the way, the indent is here on purpose. Else, oh, no, not else. It's elif. Elif what? Elif elif temp is less than or equal to, what did we say? 60, 65, 70. Print normal. I'm going to shorten this because I'm running out of time. And then we have else. Why is there no if? Because the else, there's no condition attached to the else to evaluate. Remember that here, this, if this is greater than 85, it's going to do this. If this evaluates, so if that evaluates as being true, temperature is greater than or equal to 85, then it's going to do the next line here, print shorts and a t-shirt, or wear shorts, whatever it is I will type in, okay? If, so that's what happens if this evaluates as being true. If this evaluates as being false, oh yes, you're right, then it's not going to do this print line. It's going to skip to the next elif or the next else, depending on what comes next. Okay, so it's going to go to this elif, and it's going to do this evaluation. And I'm sorry, this should say you're right. Cold. If this evaluates as being true, so temp is less than or equal to 65, the program will print cold. Else, I choke. Else what? Awesome. Else all of this goes away. Where did everything? God damn it. I don't know what happened. Else print my normal message. And the else, oh, it went up here. That's weird. It created a new one. Now where'd the other one go? Right, so else, and then below the else here, it would say print normal. And I know that my code is not great because my whiteboard, I'm so used to using a real whiteboard where I have like a whole wall of whiteboard and I can write as sloppily and crappily as I want to because I have plenty of room. So what do I get? I get one out of 3 outputs that happen. And if I look at the book here, it's talking about, where am I? If else indentation, if statements, there we are. So here it's using if else. And that's when I have one condition and I'm going to do one thing when the input is, or the condition evaluates as being true. And I'm going to do another thing when the condition evaluates as being false. So I don't have multiple conditions. And I'm going to do if, and by the way, they first talk about nested if statements. So it's a little bit weird because we actually use elifs instead of nesting most of the time. But this is another, here I would do, if grade is greater than or equal to 90, you know, print whatever it is, or do whatever code it is that you need to do, by the way. It doesn't always need to be some kind of output. It could be, we're going to do this calculation or this set of calculations if this is true. And if it's false, then we're going to do a different set. So one example of that would be if you make, if you earn more than $1,000, you get a different percentage of commission on than you would if you only earned $500. And so I would have to do the math to figure out your bonus or your commission. But the math is different, right? If you make more than $1,000, then you get 10% commission. If you make $700 or less, or $700 to $1,000, you get 6% commission. If you make less than that, you get 0% commission. So in that case, it wouldn't be a print statement, or it might be, but it might be in conjunction with a multiplication, right? I have to actually do some math. So remember that the statements here don't always necessarily need to just be, print statements. They can be all kinds of stuff. And you can see here they're using if else, if else, if else, if else. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to show you the indents. Where are they using elifs? There we are. See, here is the way that you should do it if you were doing this grade program. Oh, that's a good idea. I should have used that one. No, there's too many conditions. But you can see this is easier to read. So the elif, we use an elif. And if you're using an elif, you are doing a condition next to it. So these are conditions. Grade is greater than or equal to 80. Elif, my condition is grade is greater than or equal to 70. If it's true, then do this. If it's false, it will jump to the next condition here, the next elif. And then lastly, again, we typically have one less condition than our outcomes, right? So here for the grade of F, I don't actually have to check. It's not greater than or equal to 90. Otherwise, it wouldn't be down here. It's not greater than or equal to grade 80. It's not greater than or equal to 70, and it's not greater than or equal to 60. So it must be in this range down here, the F range. So hopefully that makes sense. We will talk about other things next time. Next lab, I said next lab, next lecture. So next Tuesday, we will talk about more stuff in chapter 3. So it's time to take a look at chapter 3. And unless you have questions, I will stick around. If not, I will see you during lab. See you later. If you have any questions, I'll just stick around. Oh, Angelina. What are we doing here? I could stay on after lecture. Never mind, it's no big deal. Training first thing in 30 minutes. I don't know. Are you leaving? Are you going somewhere? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Give me a minute. Just stay. Stay. Don't move. Anybody else? Nobody else is actually paying any attention. They've all walked away to their from their computers. And okay, so what am I doing? Stop sharing, stop recording,